Hi friends, welcome all of you to the session for the digital marketing. Now the best description tag formulas for the SEO, as we discussed in the previous screen about title tag, here we are going to talk about what should be the kind of description tag that we can follow. Include a call for action. Secondly, include targeted keywords phrases in the natural way. Now the title what we have used is Advanced Digital Marketing Course, SEO, SMO and SEM, and then followed by eMerchant Academy. In descriptions we are saying eMerchant Academy offers professional training courses in SEO, SEM, email marketing and other things. Our digital marketing experts help you stay up to the date with advanced technologies and all. So this is basically what your page is going to talk about. We are very clear. We are into academy, we are into training, and with our experts you can learn more updated techniques. So that's how you should consider it. Now, so two important aspects we have already covered: title tag and description tag. Third important point is redirection. What do you mean by redirection? Say for example, you are on a particular address and your address has changed. Now what you do? You paste a particular information that this shop has shifted from this place to this place, or in case any courier comes to this address, kindly send it to this address. That is basically a clear-cut instruction that we are posting on the door, and that is what redirection means when we are talking about SEO, search engine optimization. Redirection is the process of forwarding one of the URL to a different URL. Specifically, you are forwarding this URL to a different URL. There are two main kinds of redirects: 301 redirect and 302 redirections. There are two important. So overall, what you need to do is, say for example, you have made certain changes on your website. URL or the landing page has changed. Now you need to inform that to the Google with a small code saying that this particular content, if someone is landing on this page, let them forward it to this particular page, another page. Similarly, if either it's a permanent redirect or it's a temporary redirect. So both way we need to follow out 301 or 302 redirection codes. Now what is 301 redirection? 301 redirection. It's basically redirect the most efficient and search engine friendly method for web page redirections. It's advised. 301 is advised. Now what it helps? To avoid duplicate content in the search engine, you can force users to use either www or non-www versions. What do you mean by this? That means to say that if you are using www.emerchantacademy.com or you are directly using emerchantacademy.com. So that's how you need to distinguish it. Similarly, this avoids search engine such as Google index two versions of your domain. So you are actually instructing Google or the search engine that this is the original one, please only list this one and do not list other one, though the URL exists, but you are asking people to visit to some other site. So that's how it actually operates. Now what does 302 or 302 redirection means? It's a temporary change in the URL structure. When temporarily moving a particular page, you are moving temporarily. For the time being, you want a visitor to come on this page and then moving to the next page. Redirecting the home page. You might be redirecting your home page to some other call for action or a special offer page. Third, during the special promotions and the special circumstances. That's what I was talking about. Say you are having a Diwali offer. Say you are having any other things that's going on. So what you can do is, you use the 302 redirection code and then you redirect it temporarily for a particular duration. After that, it is going to be back on your main page. Now, moving forward, next important point is broken link. We need to check what all the number of links, if there is any broken link available. What do you mean by broken link? Broken link means there is a HTML URL which is listed, but the moment someone opens it, its format is not correct. Now, in any means it's a broken link are the links that lead to a page that do not exist. Broken link is a link that leads to a page that do not exist. When clicking on a broken link, the page you land on so-called 404 error page. That means to say that page not exist. 404 errors and the broken links are also have a negative effect on your search engine ranking. Say for example, when your page is not there on the website and which is listed on the Google or search engine, and you have not instructed that this page does not exist, and you have not said any instruction for that particular page, that means to say that your web page is not qualitative. When your page is not qualitative, is not going to qualify in terms of Google's eye, Google will not give much importance, and you may lose ranking if your website has 404 errors. Now moving forward, there is one more important aspect called search engine friendly URLs. The URL is basically, understand what is URL. When you are typing in a browser www.abc.com/healthreport.html or PHP or whatever it is, so that's basically called URL. Now as web page has to be search engine friendly, similarly your URL should also be search engine friendly and crawl friendly. Now search engine friendly URLs or crawlability URL and link architecture. This is very important aspect of on-page optimization for the search engine. For the SEO aspect, actually you need to link your home page to various important points, various important pages followed by subcategories and the detail page. You have to follow an architecture. You have to follow a particular set pattern of how pages should be linked. If you are able to work it out properly, the moment your home page is crawled by Google or search engine, almost all of your pages will be accessed by the Google database, and then you are there. So what your main important point is, you try to follow all these aspects, and then an ideal site architecture makes content access simple. It's simple for the user, it's simple for the crawler or Googlebot or other search engine bots. So if you are able to make it properly, site structure proper, lot of your work being easier. Now the good example for the search engine friendly URL is, say for example this URL. Now the moment you are talking about nationalgeographic.com, this itself is itself carries some of the name, National Geographic channel. It's about nationalgeographic.com. Then animal, and then African elephant. So the moment someone is landing on this page, there are two keywords which are already being covered, animals and African elephants. So this is a single domain followed by category structure, folder structure and keyword based page. These are good for search engine ranking. Now look at this, search unfriendly URLs. Like previous page, nationalgeographic.com, there it was animal and then followed by elephant. So here it is talking about XYZ 3 dot National Geographic, then A question mark Q. I'm like, you are not very sure what it is. So this kind of URL structure is not search engine friendly. If you are making a dynamic website and your search engine, your URL is in this format, make sure that you rewrite it in a search engine friendly URL format. Again, very important point. This is content optimization. Now what do you mean by content optimization? A web page cannot be without content. It will contain content, and content is the king as of now, is the king for the search engine optimization purpose. Now what you should consider in the content? It's better that you have above 500 words of the content. It should carry internal and external linking, anchor links, keyword stuffing and keyword density should also be there. There are few of the other aspect of it, keyword density, keyword proximity, keyword diversity. So all these things we need to consider under content optimization. What all these means? Whatever thing that you want your website to rank for, you need to use that kind of keywords when you are writing a content. It doesn't mean that you over optimize it, you maintain a decency so that it looks natural. It should not look that it is artificial. As and when you proceed, if you have a good content, number is good, you are linking internally and externally from some of the keywords that you are, and then you have the anchor links. What do you mean by anchor link? Anchor link means you are hyperlinking a particular keyword to a particular page. So that means to say that your content is not going to only follow, but whatever the links that you are going to provide, the crawler will also crawl that. It should be stuffed but not overstuffed. As we like stuffed food, but doesn't mean that we like overstuffed food. Similarly, keyword, if you are doing overstuffing, it's negative, but if you are under control, yes, it is quite good. Keyword density means how dense a particular keyword to be used in every 100 words. Normally we say 2%, less than 2% or something like that, but more importantly what we are going to tell you is, you don't make it over and over. The more you repeat it, it looks unnatural and Google don't like it. Now what do you mean by keyword density? Keyword density is basically, if you see, keyword density is basically a factor that determines number of times a particular keyword is being used in every 100 word paragraph or in a paragraph. Now formula is number of keywords repeated, total number of words in the web page multiplied by 100. So this is actually going to give you formula for the keyword density. Keyword density equal to 20 by 500 multiplied by 100 equal to 4%. It doesn't mean that we are encouraging 4% of the keyword density, but we are trying to explain it with the help of example that if 20 times keywords are being repeated in a 500 words paragraph, that means to say that it is 4%. Believe me, it's not very good sign. We should maintain little bit less in terms of it. There is no specified figure about it, but at the same time let's maintain it little less. We are going to little bit explain about sitemap. What do we mean by sitemap? Sitemap is basically a list of all the links which are connected from various pages and the structure that we put on the website. Now what happens, say a typical map. Map is basically a direction that helps you to reach from one location to the next location. Similarly, that's what geographic map location means. Similarly, sitemap is basically going to tell you from which page, what are the pages which are connected. If you want to go to the product page, you can go from a home page, you can go from any other page. So how pages are linked together, that is basically, that structure is basically called sitemap. The more you are linked properly, at least main categories of the pages are linked from the home page, of course your visitor will reach easily to the destination. Make sure that it is optimized, it's a well planned, because if you are not going to plan sitemap properly, sometimes it hampers your complete viewers or visitors accessibility to various important pages. Now the sitemap allows webmasters to include additional information about each URL. So sitemap actually allows webmasters to include additional information about each URL. Now it actually helps it gives one more option that you include additional information about every URL. Now when it also shows when it was last updated. So when you have actually content has been updated, how often it changes and how important it is in relation to other URL in the site. So if you can describe all these things when you are making a sitemap. Now next important point is sitemap. After sitemap, next important point is robot.txt. It's a very important point. Now what is robot.txt? This file informs search engine spiders how to interact with indexing your content. This also makes search engine understand that search engine want to index as much as quality information. It will crawl everything unless you tell them. That means to say that if you want some page not to be crawled, you need to put a proper instruction that disallow this particular page or allow all page. Whatever the pages that you are going to allow, search engine will list all of those pages unless you don't block that this page should not be listed. Simply unprotected website without robot.txt, it will check even your admin pages and other things. Whereas if you properly put an instruction, probably search engine will not list your other pages, internal pages which you don't want visitors to look at. So that is important. Very important aspect is robot.txt. Now simple robot.txt file, how the format of it is, user agent colon and then star mark. Disallow is blank, here it is star. User agent colon star means the rule applies every crawler. That means to say that whichever the crawler comes on this website, it goes. And disallow blank means crawlers index everything, nothing is blocked. It's like having no rules at all. That means to say everything is accessible. Whatever the content that this website carries, search engine can capture all of the informations. But if you want some of the informations not to follow, you just put disallow and then here you put whatever the name of the page that you want to. Now so far we have spoken about meta tag, description, robot.txt, webmasters and all. Now moving forward, we are going to talk about header tags. Header tag is basically termed as H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. H is basically in HTML code, H tags are being called header tags. Now H1 tag is basically the most highlighted and the bold tags that we normally use at the start of the page. Now let's see, heading tag informs both internet and search engine site visitors exactly what the content is all about. The way that you are making a PowerPoint presentation, the way that you are making a Word document and you are writing some of the topic and then followed by a description about it, how you are putting the main tag as a heading, that's basically called header tag. It tells you that what this page is going to talk about. Similarly, H1 is among the most important tag by internet search engine. Now H6 the least and the most unimportant. But still you are actually categorizing that what is the kind of content, how it is placed and which is the important content on the complete page. So as you are paying importance to a particular content or importance to a particular heading, similarly search engine as well as the visitor, they will also look into it and this will create some impact on your ranking. Now heading tag optimization tips. There are very important tips that you can see. Minimum 2 to 4 heading tags, for example H1, H2, H3 and H3. Now these should be on each page of your website. So if you are trying to follow 2 to 4 heading tags, it's good, it's optimal. Header tag must contain a specific key phrases described for your internet content. It should be very specific what you are going to use in the header tags. Add highly relevant key phrase in H1 tags. Highly relevant keywords or key phrase, that means to say that most likely your primary keywords, because it is weighed most than other heading tags. It's very important. Evaluate the relevancy of the key phrase and put the most significant keyword in H1 tag. What is most important for the complete content or for the ranking or for any other purpose. So that's what you are going to use in the H1 tag. Less vital than your H2 tag, further less vital that your H3 tag. So ultimately as you go down and down, that will be less important in terms of higher header tags. Now moving forward, your web page have a header, your web page has a content, your web page also carries image. Image also we need to optimize. What does image optimization mean? It means that file name, it's better that you keep the name of the image with the keyword. Image size less than 100 KB and alt tag and the title tag. These are few of the important things that you should consider for your image tag as well. Now see, if there is an image, you right click it, you will find all these descriptions. That is what it mean male adult lion. You can name it image 1, image 2, image 3, but that is not going to create importance for the ranking. But if you are putting up the keyword in the image tag, probably yes, it also going to help you in the search engine ranking, or at least if someone is searching for the image, your image will appear in the Google search image pages. Now moving forward on the image tag optimization, what is finding the right kind of image is increasingly important. So if you're talking about male lion, you should make it prominent that it is male lion. If you are using a parrot image, make it prominent that it looks like a parrot, appropriate parrot. Similarly, whatever the appropriate image, you try to place it, because that is also going to put a very important role when search engine optimization happens. Use the keyword as a file name. create a descriptive alt tag. For example, image source male adult lion.jpg. Alt tag is male adult lion. This is an alt tag. Now you have an option. Most of the time a web designer leaves both of these things blank. They may put name of the image as image 1, J1, J2, J3, or image 1, image 2, image 3, but they are not putting these tags. So as a search engine optimizer, you have to optimize the name, you have to change the name of the image and put an alt tag, because search engine has given an option, optimal, utilize it, and then this is going to affect a lot on your website ranking, keyword ranking. The right anchor text, make sure the image matches the content. It's not that just forcefully you create an image and put it, or name you place it. Say for example, there is an image of castle and you are naming it as a plant. Of course that is not relevant. So that's how you need to create a synergy, what content is talking about. It should match with the keyword, it should match with the header tags, content should be in synchronized way, image should be optimally optimized. So all these things should come in a synchronized way, then only your page will rank proper in the Google. Now again, very important technical aspect of page load time. How fast your web page loads when someone opens it. If it is slow, it will be given least chance to rank well in the Google. If it is downloading very fast, of course that is a good and a positive sign for a search engine ranking. Google's position is that faster loading page should be rank higher because they provide better experience for users. It's Google own words. If your web page is downloading faster, it's good for the viewers. So Google also give preference. Page speed algorithm impacts ranking. This is very critical aspect of your web page. Slow load times can be killer to even the best web design. So keep on optimizing the load time. Now solution for slow page load time, host files locally. Second important point is use image heights and width. If you are making it specific, it will help you to increase the load time. Reduce plugins, widgets. Don't use much of the incorporated things. Now CSS shrinker, white space, line breaks, remove unnecessary characters, avoid unnecessary plugins. So these are few of the important points by which you can make your web page load faster. Moving forward, next important point is domain authority. It's a very important point. Domain authority is a measure of the power of a domain name and is one of the many search engine ranking factors. It's a very important point for search engine ranking factors. Now use domain authority when comparing one site to another or tracking the strength of your website over time. So how authoritative is your domain, based on that your ranking may also get affected. Now domain authority is based on three factors: age of the domain. Second important is popularity and the size. So all these 3 points are going to be covered under domain authority. Similarly, page authority is another important point. Page authority measures the strength of individual pages. Say top level category, it's a page authority. Now this top level page should be connected with all subcategories, product page and all. So this is how, if you are actually connecting individual pages with different pages properly, it means to say that viewers are connected, visitors are connected, robots are connected, they are able to catch your content. That's how page authority is being given more weightage. Now moving forward, as we spoke about domain authority, page authority, now breadcrumb navigation. What do you mean by that? This is again a format which is search engine friendly. Now a breadcrumb is a type of secondary navigation schemes that reveals the user location on the website and web application. For example, you are able to see this flipkart.com, and here it's a home, clothing, men's clothing, winter and seasonal wear and raincoat. So that means to say that from home you have gone to clothing, men's clothing, winters and seasonal wear and raincoat. So you are on the raincoat page. If you are following this particular structure, this is called breadcrumb. This is good in terms of if we talk about betterment of a particular page. If you have this, it's better. If you don't have it, of course, user will be there on a particular page, but he will not understand where they are, and there will be a confusion factor which will be there. To make that very clear, if you are going to follow like this, it's much better. Benefits of using breadcrumb. Now, what are the benefits for using breadcrumb? It's a convenient for the users, reduces clicks or actions to return to a higher level page, and reduces bounce rate. Very important aspect. Convenient for the user. If your page is convenient for the user will spend little longer time on your web page, and longevity of a visitor on your web page also counts for ranking. Now, reduce clicks or actions returning to the high level page. Say user wants to go from the raincoat page to the men's clothing or seasonal page. He can directly click from the breadcrumb and can go. And it reduces the bounce rate because viewer is going to get multiple options if he wants to move to any other page. He will find a lot of related stuffs which are available of his interest, so he will not just quit if he is not able to understand it. Moving forward, there is one important aspect of it is a social signal. How your website is actually giving response on the social platform. Now, social signal continue to correlate with the better ranking. If you are doing good in the social platforms, there is a chance that you will be ranking much better when you are not doing anything on. Well positioned URLs have a high number of likes, shares and plus ones on various social networks. That means to say, if you have posted a link on a social platform, social networking sites, and it's being liked, commented or shared most, it will also give an importance for your keyword ranking. So make sure that social signal for your website should also be good. Now, how and why do social signal improve ranking? Few of the important points. Number of people that like your brand on the Facebook, that is also very important. More number of people likes your brand on the Facebook, more chances that you will be ranking higher. Number of Facebook shares, how many people have actually shared your link? Number of Twitter followers, how many people are actually following? Number of tweets mentioning your brand name or including a link of your website. The more number of tweets which are happening, more number of likes are happening, more number of shares for your website is happening, your website will rank better. And number of people that have you in their circle, that is Google+. So more and more people are connected on these platforms. They are talking more about your pages, about your website, about your brand. Your website will be ranking better on the search engine ranking. So far we have discussed about white hat technique. All of the things that we have discussed about white hat technique, these are the black hat techniques that we should not use. Now let's talk about black hat technique. It's very important to understand that we should not fall in that category. So be cautious and take steps if you are falling in that category. Few of the important black hat techniques are fake business listings. Your business is not actually there, but you are listing it. That's a fake business listing. Keyword stuffing. You overstuff something, it's not good. Stuffing is good, but overstuffing is not good. Hidden content. Hidden content means background of the page and content color. Both of the things matches so that viewer will not see it, but it is actually there. So that is called hidden content, which is a spam, which is black hat technique. Cloaking for the search engines. You are only making that search engine should catch it, not user should read it. Content is scrapping, or you are modifying it, manipulating it, though it is not going to give that its original content. You just copy it from somewhere, do little bit of modifications and post it. That is again not good for SEO. General description. If you are just typing software development, software designing company kind of thing, it's not good. Be specific what exactly you are, what you want to offer and all. Link from link farms. In farms, we produce something. There is a potato farm, there is a wheat farm. We produce potatoes, we produce wheats. In this scenario, what we are talking about, there are farms which only produce links, not genuine links, fake links. If your website, you are linking it from the fake links, it's bad. And if Google recognizes it, they will penalize it and they will throw you out of it. And it takes much more time for you to get out of the penalized list. These are not only few, there are many more in the black hat technique. Why you should learn it? It's not that you implement it, it's just because you should be very sure that you are not doing anything wrong, that you fall in a pit and then you will repent later. So that's why we should understand that what is there in the black hat technique. Google. That's all for today. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. To reach us, you can directly contact us at emerchantacademy.com, or you can mail us info@emerchantacademy.com, or call us at 040-233-00827, or our direct number 9849-256-286. Thank you.